Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Locked. Here we go. Your dial is set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here, and we are broadcasting today and Monday through Friday, 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. If you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. And I've updated the website with our new listen line number. If you'd like to listen on your phone, 605-477-3249, 605-477-3249. There's a link to your instructors on the website, USAPREPARES.com, USAPrepares.com. And John is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota at Genesis Communications Network. With us, hour number 1, Werner Bock. Hour number 2, Joey from Michigan. Welcome, Werner Bock.
Morning to the listeners.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we have enough listeners that start paying attention what we spend our time with here on the air.
Werner, I can tell you that I have seen our statistics. I have not seen the actual number of listeners, and unless it is just an internet-only broadcast, there's no way of knowing the number of listeners. Let me just address this point for just a minute. So, I've heard people say they've got listeners in the millions. I've heard people say they've got listeners in the hundreds of thousands. Frankly, it's very hard to do. And what is a listener? Okay, let's talk about one of those name brand broadcasts in general. So one that's on a lot of radio stations. So a guy gets in his car and he's going to pick up his son or daughter from elementary school. He's in the car and he's listening for 7 or 8 minutes, and he's tuning through the different number of broadcasts, trying to avoid maybe commercial announcements or news or whatever he doesn't want to hear. And he's listening for 7 or 8 minutes. Is that a listener? Is a listener someone who listens to USA Prepares or a broadcast like USA Prepares that stays tuned for a full hour or 2 full hours? Okay. Well, I can tell you that our listeners stay tuned. I've been told by the network that our listeners stay tuned for a very long time. And they only know about the ones who are connected to the internet. They don't know about the ones who are listening on their phone. However, I get plenty of messages from people saying they tried to listen on the listen line and they got disconnected, or the listen line was busy, or the listen line was down, or something happened. I get plenty of messages about that kind of experience. But what is a listener? Well, I don't know. I'm sure there is a definition in radio land about what a listener is. Maybe it's 10 minutes. I don't know. Or maybe it's 1 minute. I don't know. But I can tell you that we don't think that that's a listener. We just think that's somebody, spending a couple minutes and goes away. Our listeners are more in tune, and I would, I've said this before, I would love to do a head-to-head comparison of a test of our listeners, we'll call them students, compared to the listeners of some other mainstream media broadcasts. I'd love to see who would fare better in a real-life test about real-life situations. Because I believe our students think better than people who just listen to mainstream media. So, Werner, we don't have the most number of listeners, that's for sure. We don't have the least either. But I can tell you that many times on TalkStreamLive.com, which shows maybe 100 broadcasts running simultaneously, we're in the top 20. When did we start? Where did we start? We started at third from the bottom. When we arrived on the scene on Genesis Communications Network, when we got this time slot, broadcast number 1, we were third from the bottom. Not many people were listening. Now a lot more are listening, and they're listening all over the world because we are on AM, FM, satellite over Europe, North Africa, the Middle East, Canada, United States, and Central America. That's via satellite. Then we're on AM, FM, and YouTube and a telephone listen line, and downloads and podcasts. Yes.
We are mostly interested in those listeners that start basically paying attention and like it on a spark plug. When the spark plug got no spark, the engine doesn't run. And we want to get their mental engine going, that they start taking an interest and started researching in the information we are bringing across there.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right, and we are an igniter for that thought process. What we do is we bring to the air real life situations, real life solutions, and we encourage our students to do more research on the topics that they think are most important. And a lot of us believe we're in crisis mode. A lot of our instructors and our students. And by the way, class, all of our instructors, including me, we're all students as well. We are all students. I'm not satisfied knowing what I know. I'd like to know more. I think I hardly know anywhere near what I'd like to know. I'd like to know way more about chemistry, way more about physics, way more about electronics, way more about everything. Medicine. And the idea is this is an adventure in learning. I believe that if you listen to these broadcasts, you will learn more than you would learn in 4 years in college if you listen to 4 years of these broadcasts.
Well,
that's just my opinion.
Vincent, basically, what I've come across in college, they are basically rehashing the same information, and where the rubber meets the road, when there are new situations coming up, for example, for a doctor, in symptoms that show up on people and so, but they don't have the time, and many times they don't have the motivation to start investigating on their own. But this is any kind of professional, especially in the medical profession and in the sciences. It should be a continuous learning process. But many of them, they think, we got our college degree, we know it all, we don't have to learn anymore. And those that actually want to further educate themselves, the scientists and the experts, they are basically the odd man or the odd woman out. They are being ostracized and they are being targeted, and they basically, in the scientific establishment, they become a thorn in their side. And thorns in their side of the medical and of the scientific community, they are not very well tolerated.
Werner, I don't think you and I have discussed this, but many years ago, back in the 90s, I was a computer consultant. And I was building networks for school systems, and they wanted to have the internet as a research tool, which I thought was excellent. And they wanted to have filters on where the students would go on the internet. So certain words would have certain values. So, for example, there are some profane words that might have 50 points in value. There might be a few words that are 5 points and 7 points and so forth. But if you typed in a search phrase that added up to 50 points, you'd be blocked. And there were reasons for that. You can't have students, searching certain things. It's just not. It's not polite and it's not acceptable. So I built these networks. I had a team that we all worked together, but I was the principal consultant to build these networks for several school districts. And during the building of the networks, there were those employees in the schools that would say, there's this great educational software package, and it teaches history, or it teaches science, or it teaches writing skills, or mathematics, or it's for the review for those students who need to catch up or need extra help, and history, all kinds of subjects. And I said, are you serious? You want to buy a software package from some company in California who writes the history lessons, and you're going to have the students sit in front of a screen, and they're going to read the screen and answer questions, and they're going to be programmed by some company in California. Do you realize that it's so easy to rewrite history if it all comes from one source? It's a lot harder to rewrite history if you have to publish books with pages and binding and covers, and the books last 7 years before they start falling apart. Do you realize how easy it is to manipulate people through this programming?
Well, this is exactly what they did in the communist countries, and I grew up next door to communist Eastern Germany, and I happened to listen there to their political broadcast, and many times I thought to myself, how can any kind of a thinking person swallow all that BS that was being peddled there as their party doctrine?
Well, I fought that battle many, many times throughout the 90s. And sometimes I won, and sometimes I didn't. But remember, I was not an employee of the schools for which I was consulting. I was just some guy that lived more than 50 miles away. They called me a consultant, and I tried to warn them of the dangers of this kind of programming. Now, from the administration's point of view, they could say, you know what, we could hire fewer teachers. We could have people come in that were just classroom monitors, and we could have them sit down in front of a screen, and we'll pay these classroom monitors less, maybe half or one-third the amount of a real teacher, and the education will be consistent. It will be the same for every student, so every student gets exactly the same education, and we can save money. And it all comes from the computers, and we're going to have some computers anyway. That's some of the things. Excuse me?
George Orwell, 1984.
Yeah, George Orwell, 1984. You're exactly right. Werner Bock's with us. He's in New Brunswick, Canada. I'm Vin Finelli. This is USA Prepares. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Schneider Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Did you know a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, you might not sleep so well. But now, SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs, and it's completely hands-free. For a limited time, you can try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Just call 1-800-900-0684.
SoClean changed the CPAP experience for the better. My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean destroys CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs with no hassle. Never have to clean your machine by hand again. There's no water, chemicals, or disassembly. Just pop in your mask, close the lid, and presto, your CPAP system is clean and fresh in minutes. Call SoClean.com to try it risk-free at home for 30 days. This is a limited time offer, only available by calling 1-800-900-0684. 0684. That's 1-800-900-0684.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Are you still looking for that one iodine that you can really trust? A medical doctor-endorsed product that is backed by honest research and true integrative science? Then search no further. Go to NutriMedical.com for Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutriodine, proven time and time again to be the very best iodine available for you. Nutriodine is the only Tesla-activated monatomic plasma iodine in the world. It optimizes mitochondrial function and generation of new mitochondria, from totally neutralizing the venom from a desert recluse spider bite in Southern California to eliminating malaria parasites reported by medical missionaries in Central India. Dr. Bill's Nutriodine is simply the most powerful healing formula there is. Nutriodine clears the body of all known pathogens, restores it to an alkaline state, and even promotes stem cell regeneration. Order Dr. Bill's Nutriodine today at 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
So, class, Werner Bock is with us, and Werner came from Germany. He's a farmer, and his lineage is farming. He's a farmer in New Brunswick, Canada. We share a lot of the same interests. We share a lot of the same opinions and ideas, and it's interesting to chat with Werner. And you know, it almost seems like we went to the same school together, but we didn't. And that's kind of a thread that goes through a lot of the instruction here at USA Prepares. A lot of us seem to have come to the same conclusion separately. Well, Werner, my concern at the educational level in the elementary school, kindergarten, even preschool through 8th grade, and then 9th through 12th at the high school level, and even at the college level, where I was a consultant, I saw the implementation of computer training, and I saw, as a consultant, I would go into the school systems, and I really didn't have a particular job per se. They would say, Vincent, we'd like you to be our consultant, and you do what you think you need to do, which was very trusting of them, and we got all kinds of accolades, even at the highest level of the state, for the kind of technology that we implemented, and especially for the cost of the implementation. We were in a very, very poor school districts, and we were competing with some of the wealthiest school districts in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and we beat them because we were innovative, and we used passion, and we were committed. But let me give you even an example of what I saw in one of the classrooms. So as this no job description consultant, I would go around and I would look at the computers and I would test them, and I'd make sure that they were all up to par. And there were thousands of them. So I might end up in a high school, 9th grade class, just look at the computers, sit in the back of the room and test the computers while the teacher was teaching in the front of the class. And I remember there was this one class lesson. I'm just in the back of the room, and the teacher says, okay, question number 11. So what's the answer? What kind of government do we have? And the students would say, a democracy. I thought, really? When did that start? I was taught we had a representative republic. So in this computerized training that some of the students were getting, they were being told that we have a democracy. And now, of course, it's in the news every time you hear one of these talking heads talk about our democracy. We've been programmed to unlearn that we have a representative republic, that we now have a democracy. So that was from the 90s. We've been doing that. So that's just one small example of how you can have computerized learning changed in one place and get distributed all over the country. George Orwell, exactly what you were talking about.
And I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Joel Wallach, Doctor of Ashes, and he investigated the importance of all the different type of nutrients. And we are, in order to grow up healthy and to live healthy, we have to have access to at least over 80 basic nutrients and over 60 basic elements. And what happens now, like in the education system and in the mainstream media, those diversity of nutrients, in this case, mental nutrients, it is basically whittled down to maybe 5 or 6 mainstream media outlets. And who controls them? So that means most of us, if we don't take any personal effort, we are basically mentally malnourished with a standard diet that ultimately leads to the people's demise. They can't grasp anymore the complexity of life.
Werner, you mentioned Dr. Joel Wallach. Dr. Joel Wallach is a friend of ours. He has been to the farm. He's had dinner here in the kitchen at the farmhouse with us. He's been to our meetups many, many times. We've hosted meetups, and he's been our guest instructor at the meetups. He's been to, I believe, every one of our Get Prepared Expos, 7 Expos, and he's been on the radio with me many, many times. So I'm very familiar with Dr. Joel Wallach. As a matter of fact, I have this poster, if you will, in the kitchen, and he signed it along with, I'll tell you about that in just a minute.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Get a ProPure with the Pro 1G 2.0 cleanable reusable filter and remove up to 200 contaminants. Drink water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure products, including the new ProMax shower filter. There's a ProPure for you. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com or 800-544-3533.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
When I was 15 and a half years of age, I had 2 large mercury fillings put into my teeth. I got very sick that day, and over time the mercury exposure damaged my body. My sunny disposition turned to depression and low energy. Many years later, I understood what had happened, and in 1991 I replaced these mercury fillings with white composite. In 1997, I learned that the homeopathic mercury detox I did years earlier did not remove the mercury from my body. I began an effective means of removing mercury from my body. My digestion and elimination returned to normal, and I began to have my life back. From 1999 to 2005, I tested the level of mercury in my body, and each test showed my mercury burden was high. After 5 years on One World Way, I recently did another mercury test. The results showed my body is free of mercury and virtually all toxic metals. One World Way is very powerful for detoxification support. It has helped many, and it may help you. Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldway.com. That's oneworldwhey.com.
My computer is so slow, it's making me crazy.
I used to have that problem.
Did you quit using a computer, or did you buy a new one?
No, I called Geeks On Site. They made an appointment to visit my home and showed up the same day.
You mean they didn't ask you to bring your computer to a shop? That's what happened when I called a support company.
Geeks On Site can go to your home or business or even repair your computer online. They have 24/7 emergency service.
If you are having problems with your PC or Mac, call Geeks On Site, 1-800-591-1682. Our friendly certified computer repair experts are available 24/7. Call now for a free diagnosis, 1-800-591-1682. Data recovery, virus removal, and maintenance for all laptops, desktops, printers, and networks. That's Geeks On Site for friendly certified computer repair experts, available 24/7 over the phone or in your home or business. Just call 1-800-591-1682. That's 1-800-591-1682, 1-800-591-1682. 1682.
This is it. For the first time ever on this station, U.S. government gold offered at cost for only $139 each. With Wall Street suffering its worst start to a trading year in history, now is especially the time to be paying attention to gold. This first time ever, U.S. legal tender government gold offered at cost for only $139 each is from the U.S. Money Reserve. Call them at 1-866-944-GOLD. Gold is on the move, so don't miss out. For the first time ever on this station, U.S. government gold offered at cost for only $139 each. 1-866-944-GOLD or online at usmoneyreserve.com. Ask for a free 55-page gold buyer's book. Plus, get a free Walking Liberty $50 just for reading this must-have book. Get your free gold book, your free $50, but most importantly, get your gold at cost for only $139 per coin. 1-866-944-GOLD.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
That's Werner Bock is with us, and I'd like to just tell you a little bit about this this hanging we have on the kitchen wall, and I have it out so that I can frame it. The Dr. Joel Wallach. This looks like the signatures on the Declaration of Independence. Except it's huge. It's the size of a very large desk blotter, very large. And it's signed by Dr. Joel Wallach, Richard Allen Miller, Aaron Dakins, Brad Dakins, Rich Sheben, Judy Dollarhite, John Dollarhite, John Statmiller, Grace Thorne, Lynette Marie, John Moore, Linus Ertley, Deborah Brewster, Norm Shealy, Kurt Crosby, Sam Bushman, There are so many signatures on here. I just wanted to share like some of them, but it's the coolest thing. It really is, and it's a reminder of those who are on the air with us who have been to the farm. And you mentioned Dr. Joel Wallach, and so that's why I mentioned that. Yes, he has been to the farm, and yes, we know him quite well. Werner, yes.
A couple of years ago, I came across his website, and I listened to him in some of his YouTubes, and he grew up on a farm, and on a farm you cannot get away with basically BSing. You know, you have to analyze when there are problems cropping up. You have to analyze them, and you have to devise methods of dealing with them. You know, and here comes to my mind one passage in the Bible where it says, "In the multitude of counselors is wisdom." But in today's society, that's more and more, it becomes obvious that it's centrally controlled, you know, by very vested interest, and they don't have our vested interest at heart. Their only interest is to stay in power and to increase their power. You know, that means, in other words, we as ordinary people, we have to get informed. And I'm basically amazed about the ignorance when I read some of the comments on the internet and so, the ignorance of most of the public. But it is vital for the survival of the people, not just only here in North America, but in Europe and everywhere, that people are well informed. And democracy, when they call it democracy, it only can work when people are very interested in getting informed. And they are not dulled down by, basically superficial entertainment. And
there you have it. There you have it. Werner, I was in Sam's Club months ago. And this man came up to me, and he was selling something. And he said, do you know what we're offering our members? And I said, oh, man. I knew it was coming, satellite TV. And he started, I said, look, I just want you to know that I personally advocate turning off the television. I said, why would anybody pay to have a subscription to about 300 channels of mindless programming, plus all the commercials that go with it? I said it used to be at the top of the hour, there might be a minute of commercials. I'm talking about the 1950s. Maybe one commercial at the top, one commercial at the bottom, maybe 2 minutes. How did we get from 1 or 2 minutes per hour to 20? How'd that happen? Well, it did. It incrementally crept in more and more and more. And now it's everywhere. But people are paying for that. They're literally paying to watch this mindless programming. Now, there are a few programs that might be, not programs, there are a few broadcasts that might be worth watching, or a few series that might be worth watching. Educational, science, math, history, those kinds of broadcasts. But if it does not have an educational content at some level, I'm not interested in watching it. I'm not. And so we do have a television in the kitchen. The kitchen is we have a working kitchen, and that's where we have meetings and those kinds of things. And when friends and family come over, that's where we kind of hang out. And there is a screen in there, and that's where we watch videos or YouTube or something like that. But we don't have over-the-air television. And I won't even advertise the expos on over-the-air television anymore, because I found out what happens. People who watch over-the-air television are mesmerized by it. And if you were to give them a test, if you were to say, tell you what, you've just spent 2 hours in front of that screen, would you write down what the plot was about? Can you do that? I don't believe they can. They zone out, they turn their brain off, and they don't want to think. And the more they watch these screens, the more they don't want to think. It's like a drug that they need more and more. I've heard people say to me, people I consider quite bright, would say, well, I just have it on for background noise. I don't want background noise. I really don't. I don't need more noise. More information would be good, more accurate information, more training in the sciences would be good, but more noise I don't need. Werner, what do you think?
Well, I noticed already a difference over the years when sometimes for half a year or so I didn't watch television anymore and I listened to the radio. My vocabulary increased again and I could think better. But with television, basically this ability, it got greatly diminished by steadily watching television. But then about 15 years ago, here on the farm, I'm alone, or I was alone at the time, and I had to get up a few times, especially during the winter months at night when a cow was due to calf and so on. And So when I got back in the house, I listened to the radio, and I came across Coast to Coast, and I was listening to that for a few years, and I named it then, and I recommended it to other people. I said it's University of the Night, because I don't think that the young people that went to university, that they got that much information. But then there is a passage in the Bible where it says, in the multitude of counselors is wisdom. But then we have to use discretion and build up a certain amount of knowledge so we can sift out the valid information from the garbage.
Well, I did the same thing many years ago. I would listen to radio. Actually, I have that same radio right here in the studio with me. It's a ham rig. It's a ham transceiver, 100-watt ham transceiver. It's a Kenwood TS440S, and it would receive shortwave broadcast. And I would listen to shortwave WWCR and WHRI, and some of our favorite broadcasts were on there, including John Statmeller, who's a friend of mine. And it was great. It was great listening to those kinds of broadcasts because it opened my eyes. And I would listen to Stan Deyo and Linda Moulton Howe and Jim Morris, who are also happen to be USA Preparedness instructors. They've been on the air with us. So some of the guests, as Art Bell would call them, who were on the air with him, are also on USA Prepares. And I learned a lot from them. And radio is the theater of the mind. It really is. I believe it does what you talk about. It does expand your way of thinking, and it expands your vocabulary. Whereas if you just watch television, this mindless stuff that comes over the major networks, you hear people, when they try to communicate, they use words like. That's how they communicate. It's terrible. They've forgotten their vocabulary. They've lost it because of this, I believe, mindless programming. And many people I've noticed in my travels, I have noticed garage sales and yard sales, and people can't wait to get rid of their books. I can't believe it. They can't wait to sell books for 10 cents a piece, 25 cents, $1, 3 for $1, 4 for $1. Hey, I'll tell you what, would you buy all of them? You can have all those boxes of books for $3. Please take them out of my way. That's the kind of thing that I see. I'm stunned, absolutely stunned. Why would anybody get rid of their books? Well, they say things like, well, I can read it on a Kindle. Really? So you can have all your books on a Kindle, and what happens if that fails? Everything fails. Or they'll say, I can look it up on the internet. I don't need books. I can just have a PC or a tablet, and I can look up everything I want whenever I want. Really? Is electricity always there? Do you really believe that internet content is always going to be there? Do you really believe that they're not going to rewrite history? The people who win wars rewrite how the wars were. And we've all been programmed. Even at church, we've been programmed. Stand up, sit down, kneel, genuflect, stand up, pass the plate. Okay, you got to put money in the plate. You have to dress this way. Okay, look this way, stand up, sit down. That's what it's like in the Catholic Church. And just try being out of step. You know, everybody else is standing up and you're sitting down, or you're kneeling. It's like, what's wrong with him? He's not reading the playbook.
Well,
Werner, I don't know how you did it, but you pushed one of my buttons.
No, but we wanted to talk about some other vital issues right next to the farm and next to the countryside, and what happens to the environment, what happens to the wildlife.
Let's do it.
And
wildlife.
Over the years I come to the conclusion, government is sticking its nose into all kinds of things that should be their business. And they collect taxes in order to create jobs for bureaucrats, and when it comes to do the job, there's nobody there. They just give the child a name, but there's no child there. No jobs that they actually effectively do.
Yeah, what you're saying, Werner, is we have people in these government positions. They sit behind desks or sit behind counters and they don't do anything. They don't know anything. They can't make any decisions. There's nobody home. You're absolutely right. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Would you like to receive $250 to $1,000 cash per day? Go to richmoneyrich.com. No website, no selling, no explaining. Just take these simple 2 steps and go to richmoneyrich.com. You can be generating cash in the next 24 hours simply using this system. Good news is, it runs on 100% autopilot, and you don't need any experience to get started. It's easy. Get your share of easy riches and go to richmoneyrich.com. That's richmoneyrich.com. Go now. Brought to you by the Conservative Investor. Current returns not indicative of future results.
Mother's Day is next week, and Pro Flowers is offering an amazing special. 100 stunning blooms for mom, plus a free glass vase for $19.99. Go to proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 3434. But hurry, this incredible deal expires this Friday. With fresh flowers, guaranteed delivery, and add-ons to complete your gift, Pro Flowers has everything you need to be a gifting expert on Mother's Day. Order now from Pro Flowers to get huge savings. You pick the delivery date, and it's guaranteed. 100 colorful blooms sent fresh from the fields and guaranteed to stay fresh and beautiful for at least 7 days for $19.99 and will include a free glass vase. Hurry, Mother's Day is next week and this incredible special expires this Friday. The only way to get this amazing deal is to go to proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 3434. That's proflowers.com, secret code 3434.
Shipping charges not included. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. goberkey.com.
Are you sneezing, coughing, and aching? Do you have a sore throat, a fever, or the sniffles? There's no reason to be sick this cold and flu season with immune system support from Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver can give your body the help it needs to fight off harmful pathogens without hurting beneficial gut flora and without leaving behind resistant bacteria. Antibiotics can damage good microflora and often leave behind bacteria which can cause problems later on. If you're sick of being sick, try Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver, the #1 choice of thousands for a safe and effective way to protect against the many diseases and illnesses that we are facing today. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, read our customer reviews, and see the life-changing results that people are having. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code PROTECTED for 20% off your entire order. And like us on Facebook. Supernatural Silver.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
Werner, I've heard the term many times, equal opportunity, and I can see that there's more equal opportunity now than ever before. And one of the definitions of it is the policy of treating employees and others without discrimination. And they say especially on the basis of their sex, race, or age. Well, it seems that we're also giving people equal opportunity without consideration of their knowledge, background, information, skills. It's like a free-for-all. Anybody can get a position. And I'd like to say that I do discriminate on lots of things. I discriminate on what kind of oil filters I want to buy, what kind of engine oil, what kind of vehicles, what kind of machinery, where I like to shop based on how I'm treated, based on the products that are sold, based on the price. I think we need to be more discriminating rather than less. I think we need to learn from history. I think we need to learn from the past. If someone treats me really poorly in a store, well, there was a store in Springfield, Missouri. They threw me out in like 60 seconds. And then those people wanted to come to the expo. And I said, are you kidding? You expect that I'm going to let you come to the expo after you throw me out of your store? You think that I'm going to let my guests know or believe that you're going to treat them better than you treated me? No, I was discriminating against them by the way I was treated. And I think we need to do that more. We need to vote with our wallets more. And we need to say no more. And we need to complain more and let everyone we can know about poor practices, poor quality, and so forth.
Vincent, you won't let anybody who is not qualified to run your equipment. Otherwise, you have breakdowns. And that can be especially critical during harvest time. You might lose half your crop or whatever, And the same thing should be applied in government positions or any kind of a position. But I think the economy runs more on trouble than when everything goes smooth. And so many fixers, whole hordes, whole armies are coming from university, year after year. And they're looking for something to be fixed. And when it isn't, there is an old saying, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. So they're setting up a lot of things that they get broken. Sustainable systems in food production, what they had here in North America. And when, for example, when you raise your cattle on pasture, it's the most natural way to raise them. That isn't good enough. The big chemical companies, they want, and the pharmaceutical companies, they want to get their foot in the door, not just only with your livestock, but then with the food that's been produced the way they want it to be produced, that more and more health problems crop up in the population. It basically is a windfall for all those fixers, But it's the question for how much longer can any kind of a society, including and especially here in North America and in the United States, how much longer can they afford this kind of foolishness?
Werner, I have a 1962 lawnmower. It's an International Cub Cadet. Has the original tires, front and back, original bearings. It's on its third engine. We've worn out, 2 engines, and we're wearing out the next one. But we don't make quality anymore, okay? And it's very difficult to find. If you look at a brand new Cub Cadet tractor, it doesn't hold a candle to this International Cub Cadet of 1962 vintage. The new one does not. It's got way more horsepower, allegedly. It's got a bigger engine, but the driveline is cheap. Everything else is cheaper on it. It's thinner. The metal's flimsier. Nowhere near as good. We've got to get back, class. We've got to get back to quality. And you can insist on it with your wallet. You can insist on quality with your wallet. What do you think, Werner?
Basically, especially the American economy runs on trouble. The more trouble, the more the economy is booming. It's not just only inside the United States, it's globally. The biggest, basically, wild card and the biggest amok running part of the economy is the military. You know?
Yeah, and they blow stuff up. And that's their business, blowing things up. Werner, thanks so much for being with us. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Class, Joey from Michigan will be with us, hour number 2.
Thank you, Vincent.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Here we go. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Class, you've heard us on the air many times, I'm sure. But what you haven't heard is us not on the air. Here's what I mean. I spend a lot of time on the tractor around the farm, and when I'm not doing that, I'm on the phone with students, instructors, and I talk with many of our instructors quite often. For the next hour, you're going to get to hear what it's like when we are on the phone off the air. The only difference is we're going to be on the air. So here's one of those conversations. I have no idea how this is going to go, but this is what it's like when 1, 2, 3, sometimes we have multiple instructors on a conference call. We're going to do this on the air, live, no talking points, with Joey from Michigan. Welcome, Joey.
Good morning, Vince. Morning, class.
Did I say that right? Isn't that what we're going to do?
I think so. I think we're going to use the word crisis. That'll be a good word to start with, right? And
yes, because when you and Miles and Ed from Florida, Ed at User Site, and I talk, that word seems to be coming up more and more and more, and there's a lot of concern. So go ahead.
So what is a crisis? I mean, what when you think of crisis, what follows in your mind? I mean, when you think of the word crisis, what does it mean? I mean, everybody's opinion of crisis is different. They didn't pay their electric bill on time. They didn't get home to cook dinner in time. Those are all crises. Maybe a crisis is to some people when, I don't know, China comes out with a new world currency, and maybe somebody that pays a little more attention than others says, wow, that means maybe the U.S. dollar will have no value. It'll look like a dollar in Germany at the end of the war. I mean, it's all in perspective to what you determine to be a crisis. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. A crisis is someone falls ill at the Thanksgiving table. Panic sets in. That's a crisis. Do you call the ambulance? Do you call the doctor? Do you call the hospital? What do you do? You've got an unexpected event with unknown outcomes. And how you make that situation better is up to you, based on your knowledge, experience, and available tools. That's how you make it better. And that's one of the things that we're talking about over and over for years. But we're looking at, well, the economic crisis. John Regan every Monday talks about the economy and what's wrong with it and how it absolutely is going to fail. There's no question about it. We talk about the chemtrails. Who's not coughing? Who is not coughing? And now we find that absolutely there is admission by the government that chemical spraying has been done. No question about it. NASA, here's the headline. NASA confesses to dosing Americans with airborne lithium and other chemicals. So I have a question about that, Joey. The question is, so what would you do, class? What would you do if you, and let's say you're a male, and your wife, who has asthma, dies as a result of these airborne contaminants? Her asthma gets worse and worse and worse, can't breathe, dies right then and there. What would you do? Would you do anything? Would you try to figure out what the cause is? Would you try to figure out who the culprits are? Or would you just say, geez, she was a good wife, I guess I don't have her anymore? Or what about if it's your, ladies, what about if it's your husband? And let's say he's the breadwinner, as they used to be. And he dies from, let's say, a prescription by his doctor. His doctor says, I think you've got anxiety, let's give you these antidepressants, and then he jumps off the bridge. Meaning your husband. Do you do anything or not? Do you raise awareness, or do you say, well, he was a good husband while he was alive, I guess I got to find another one? What if it's your child? What will you do in a situation that throws you into crisis? What would you do if you found out that your child was in elementary school and the scientists wanted to know how radiation spreads, so they dust from the rooftop the school where your child attends, and then they want to see how healthy your child is after that. Then they have free doctors' clinics where you can, they can see how well your children are doing. And you don't know it's connected. And then later on you find out they did it. And then your son got leukemia, or your daughter got leukemia, or some other cancer. This is what we're talking about. These are the crises that are happening to us right now. And so, I guess the next question is, who would you call? Would you call the people who are committing these crimes? Would you call them for help? Would you call some guys with black uniforms or blue uniforms with guns? How about the cop who says, I didn't mean it. I thought it was my taser. I didn't realize that was my handgun, and I emptied it into his chest. I made a mistake. It was my taser. I thought it was my taser. This is nuts. These are just a couple of the crises that we're seeing unfold right in front of our eyes, Joey.
Well, when you think of the word crisis, what's the second word you should think about? I think of the word solution. Because, with every crisis, if you don't prepare for a solution, that was the whole reason we were looking at the virtual village and having these webinars to help prepare people. I mean, as you said, Vince, you cannot call 911. You cannot call anybody you think you can call. They're the problem. But until this system breaks, how can you can't trust what you can't control. I mean, not that you can control yourself and the solution, but if you're aware there's a problem, at least you can prepare. If you're aware they're spraying minerals, then you have to become aware you have to supplement your health with minerals, whether it's the DE, whether it's, selenium, copper, all the minerals that have been taken out of the food. Something, what did Werner just say? Something about being nutritionally poor. You're always talking how when our grandparents came here, what drove them? Well, we're not our grandparents. Our grandparents were 60, 70, 75 years old, and they were still very active working. Most people are not active because they're dying. They're starving from malnutrition from the inside out, being fed all this great GMO food and all these extra chemicals that are added into every kind of food. Why would you? I mean, if somebody would say, here, drink this, you'd say, what's in it? But if you open a package and it says whatever it says on it, cheese, milk, yogurt, oh, this is wonderful. Why is it wonderful? Did you read what's in it? Oh, drink a diet soda. It's good for you. Oh, aspartame. It's wonderful for you. When you heat aspartame to over 95 degrees, it changes at 106. It really gets good. It'll make like a formaldehyde. That way you can lobotomize a brain. It's a wonderful thing. And think of the simplicity where you charge someone and you create an economy to make someone sick. Then you come out with you're going to cure them. You're going to elongate the inevitable, and you're going to poison them with medication. What is the solution? How do we go? I mean, we go back to the virtual village. We're trying to start simple little projects that will help motivate everyone to create a solution for what's about to come. Think about, at no time in history, and I think we're standing at the abyss, this time when whatever this is, we'll call this is the economy, when this crashes, why will this be so different than any other time? And think about it. Whether it was Plymouth Rock, people getting off the first boat, there was another boat coming. There was always another boat coming, and there was always a settlement, a village. We're going to have a wood mill. We're going to have a tinsmith. We're going to have a pottery barn. Well, that's what made this country grow. All of a sudden, we've got a group of criminals dismantling the country for the last 20 years from within, basically creating a criminal out of anybody that tries to be, I wouldn't call it an entrepreneur, but I'll call it whatever. Who said the other day, John Regan said, steel industry shut down because we can't use coal. You need coal to make steel. But China can make coal or burn coal and make steel and sell it back to the dummies here. But we have no team coming to rescue us anymore. When this goes down, you're going to be at the mercy of China or Russia or India or any of these other parasitical operations that are now taking the lead and feeding the rest of the world, and we're in the back. All the normal countries of the world have banned GMO food. Yet, this country, they want to put you in jail if you even want to sponsor a bill to ban GMO food, or at least make you aware that you're eating GMO food, or that new bill where you can bring meat, poultry, and fish from another country and don't have to tell anybody where it came from or how it got here. How's that working? At what point in time do you stand up and say, wow, we're at the abyss, we're looking over the edge, and we've got a real problem ahead of us, and everybody better taking this extremely seriously. Because when this breaks, and I'm afraid the fat lady's dress that she's going to sing, don't know how to go on with this. Just watch.
So now you know. Now you know what it's like when your instructors are off air discussing the issues the burning issues. We'll be right back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now, with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
How would you like to make 17% on your money in only 90 days? That's right. Gold owners made 17% in only 3 months as gold had its best quarterly gain in 30 years. Gold is on the move, and you need to get government-issued, legal tender gold coins starting at only $139 each. The U.S. Money Reserve, one of the largest gold distributors in the country, announces the first ever at-cost gold release on this station for only $139 each. 1-866-944-GOLD or online at usmoneyreserve.com. Official U.S. government-issued legal tender solid gold coins at cost for only $139 each. Call 1-866-944-GOLD. Ask for a free 55-page gold buyer's book. Plus, get a free Walking Liberty $50 just for reading this must-have book all about gold. Remember, gold is on the move, up 17%. Call 1-866-944-GOLD.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
You've woke up to the deception. You understand how big government and corporations are controlling you. Guess what? The trail goes even deeper. When you want to learn the full truth, visit toolsforfreedom.com. We take you further into uncovering the conspiracy than you've ever been before. Click toolsforfreedom.com. Use coupon code RADIO to get a free DVD today. Or call 800-770-8802. That's 800-770-8802. Toolsforfreedom.com.
Way off the air, we've been talking a little bit about our grandparents, and I never mentioned this before, either off the air or on the air, but I was in my grandfather's and grandmother's basement, and it was under his house, of course, but his house didn't come with a basement when it was built. He dug it out by hand. Who would do that today? Do you know one single person? Do you know one person today who would say, you know what, I've got a crawl space under my house. I think I'll dig it out. I've got a shovel here. I've got a wheelbarrow, some 5-gallon buckets, or some galvanized pails. I'll just start digging it out, and I'll build a wall under it. As I dig it out, I'll build a wall, and I'll pour a concrete floor, and I'll put some lolly columns in there, and I'll just do it. Do you know one person who would do that?
Well, physically, nobody I know could do that. If you were fortunate enough to do that, there would be a small problem. Probably all kinds of building codes would be affected, and before it was done, you'd probably get a $40,000 fine. But you're right. Physically, we're done. I mean, most people, 45 years old, the last commercial on the during the break, 41-year-old person with high cholesterol. What would happen if these people just quit taking their medicine? Would they be in a better place or a worse place? Because every time they take one pill, they get a second pill. It changes their structure inside, and pretty soon they're dependent on many pills. I'll bet you if nobody could pay for insurance or nobody could afford those pills, nobody would be taking those pills, and I bet they would last. They'd probably be in better shape, don't you think?
Well, I've listened to Dr. Shealy for many, many years, and he's advised people who are on these anxiety meds, and they all have complications of some kind. You seem to fix the symptoms of one problem, but you cause other problems. You're exactly right. There are drugs that men take for cholesterol that cause ED, and then there's a pill to fix the ED. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. So, the crises that we're talking about, Miles says it. Miles says, number one, what? Joey, we have to do what? What's number one, according to Miles?
Your personal house, being your body, is not your number one priority, and in the best shape it can be in before the crisis starts, you might as well quit. Because without the body, the rest of preparing has no valuable, justifiable sense. I mean, if you can't walk up a flight of stairs because you're too used to taking the elevator, if you can't get out of your car and carry your groceries in without taking a break, there's something wrong with the picture. And how many people do you notice when you go in a supermarket today, a grocery store, any store, period, where there's a shopping cart involved? What do you see? And you're seeing, my mom did it, but my mom was 70 years old when she started doing it. They lean, they don't hold the shopping cart with their hands. They put their forearms on the cart, and they balance their weight on the cart wheels. And when you watch them move, because I had a lot of time in those last 5 years of my mom's journey to watch the way she starts to breathe differently. And I see that, and I watch that. How many young people wearing shorts, their shins down to their feet are that purple that comes from when you're having a neuropathy from a diabetic condition.
Well, we're seeing it more and more. And so, Joey, you're talking about using a shopping cart as a walker. And what I think you're saying is that the people who are using these shopping carts to lean on to take part of their weight off their legs and support their weight with their arms, leaning on the shopping carts, they haven't figured out yet that there's a real problem. And that's why they're walking that way and taking their weight off their legs. But they'll learn soon.
This will be a little project for the class. Next time you're in a shopping cart, because you've thought about it now, notice, you don't have to sit there with a camera and take pictures. Just look. Every time you look up, you'll notice a person. When you watch, you'll see they're normal people, or what I would assume to be normal. They hold a cart, they walk around. But when they're leaning on that cart, with that for hair, you know there's a problem.
Class, one of the things that we try to teach here at USA Prepares is to pay attention to your environment. Look up, look down, look farther than just right in front of your feet. Look all around you, see what's happening, pay attention, and see if that's a problem that you need to avoid. We'll be right back.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com. So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Mother's Day is next week, and Pro Flowers is offering an amazing special. 100 stunning blooms for mom, plus a free glass vase for $19.99. Go to proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 3434. But hurry, this incredible deal expires this Friday. With fresh flowers, guaranteed delivery, and add-ons to complete your gift, Pro Flowers has everything you need to be a gifting expert on Mother's Day. Order now from Pro Flowers to get huge savings. You pick the delivery date, and it's guaranteed. 100 colorful blooms sent fresh from the fields and guaranteed to stay fresh and beautiful for at least 7 days for $19.99, and will include a free glass vase. Hurry, Mother's Day is next week, and this incredible special expires this Friday. The only way to get this amazing deal is to go to proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 3434. That's proflowers.com, secret code 3434.
Shipping charges not included. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
Today, how to incorporate your business in just 10 minutes so you won't lose everything if you get sued. Step 1, stop putting it off. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business tomorrow, it's not just your business at risk. You can lose everything: your home, your car, even your life savings. Step 2, call the following number for a free 10-minute incorporation guide from Incorporate.com. 1-800-941-5257. They don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating quick and easy. So you can incorporate or form an LLC in just 10 minutes. That number again is 1-800-941-5257. Step 3, congratulate yourself. By taking just 10 minutes to incorporate your business or form an LLC, you protected your home, your car, and your life savings. And that is how you incorporate your business in just 10 minutes. But hurry while they're still giving away these 10-minute incorporation guides for free. Call 1-800-941-5257. That's 1-800-941-5257.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Hi, this is Sophie Winnick, longtime distributor and user of Youngevity products. In the last few years, my family went through a crisis. Everything else in my life, including my business, had to be put on the back burner. Thankfully, life is getting back to normal now. But the one thing I never had to worry about was my business and my monthly commission. I've been a distributor for Youngevity for over 17 years, since before it was Youngevity. And I've got to say, the most amazing thing about this company is the people. While my family was in crisis, other distributors stepped in and helped my customers, simply because that's what Youngevity people do, even for people they don't know. For me, it has never been about getting rich. It was about a product I could stand behind, a company I could count on, and a monthly commission check that has never, not once, been late in 17 years. Youngevity is truly a business for everyone, even people who have too much to do. I'm Sophie Winnick. I'm just like you. I have a real life, real ups and downs, but I know I will always have Youngevity.
Class Joey's with us, and we're just talking as he and I would off the air, but the mic is hot, so you're going to get a chance to see a little bit about what we're really like. Joey, just a little side trip. The Austin, Texas School District decided last month to rename their school, their elementary school. It is currently called the Robert E. Lee Elementary School. So they asked for suggestions from the public. And here are some of the names, okay? And this shows you how angry people are. One of the suggestions was Bleeding Heart Liberal Elementary, Adolf Hitler's School for Friendship and Tolerance, the Communist Elementary. Let's see. One of them was generic school name, Hypothetical Perfect Person Memorial Elementary School, Ignorance is Bliss Elementary, Leadership and Excellence in Education, which is spelled L-E-E. It's unbelievable how stupid we are and how we're focusing people's attention on the wrong things. Absolutely outrageous. I'd be furious if I went to Robert E. Lee Elementary and they changed the name of my school to something like, the Austin Elementary School. I'd be furious. But anyway, that's the kind of nonsense that's going down. So we really are in crisis mode, and this is just one more example of a distraction.
I would bet whoever sponsored that brilliant idea, if they would take that person, and those schools usually have really neat doors, as I remember, I haven't been in a school in a while, but I bet if they put their fingers in the backside of the door and slam that door shut on their fingers, they'd be so busy thinking about how they were going to get their fingers out of there and lack of how to get rid of that stinging sensation of, I think that word's called pain. They wouldn't want to think about any stupidity like that anymore, and they'd want to pay attention to what really is the problem. I sent you a link about trucking. Did you see that at the truck stop?
When did you send that?
Just during the break. Open that PDF.
Okay.
And while you're looking for that, I want to give somebody something to think about. You know, after you get your health work done and you feel you're making good strides for that, think about when we were building a country, it was easy to build because nobody knew what a luxury was. They didn't know what electricity was. They didn't know what running water. They didn't know what a flushing. They had no idea. Now think about how much fun it's going to be after having all these luxuries, and say the economy collapses and you have to restart an economy without electricity, running water, refrigeration. You know, every single. We don't even take it as a luxury. We take it as, we just take it for granted we have it. Then we go back to why we want to create webinars. You know, and we want to create a magnetic power motor to figure out how to make electricity without a lot of fuel, how to create better and stronger batteries, and a little more primitive battery than the new modern ones they're creating that need to run on computers. We make a battery that's primitive, you know, we're going to be starting out primitive. So to have primitive products will coincide with coming back through the abyss. So, and distilling, so you can make a little alcohol for tinctures or to burn in a candle lamp, because we're not going to really be, hunting whales for whale oil. So, I mean, we have those issues. But did you find that link, Vince?
You're not going to believe this, Joey, but I've got a couple hundred emails coming in from when I first started the broadcast. They're coming in, but I haven't gotten to that one yet. I haven't received it yet. But I'll let you know when I do.
All right, what it says, here's what it says. The first 24 hours of truck stop. Medical supplies, hospitals will run out of basic supplies. Service stations will run out of fuel. Just-in-time manufacturing will develop. Component shortages, mail packages, automobile fuel will become whatever. After 2 or 3 days, food shortages will escalate, especially hoarding and consumer panic. Supplies of essentials is bottled water, powdered milk, canned whatever. ATMs will run out of cash. Service stations will be completely run out of fuel. That's only in 2 or 3 days. We haven't even gotten to the best part. After container ships also will be sitting in the ports because of the trucks not being able to haul supplies. After the first week, automobile travel will cease due to lack of fuel. Hospitals will begin to exhaust oxygen supplies. second week, clean water will begin to run dry. And after the fourth week, the nation's clean water supply will be exhausted. Now, that's just real common stuff you don't think about. But I seen this morning, and I'm like, wow, how appropriate to have such a thing throw itself at us. And once you find this, maybe you can put a link to it, open it up, so people can see this, because when you start to think how fragile our eco/economy is, our ecosystem being what we take for granted every day of our life, and then the simplicities as, oh, you need money. Most people use, I don't know what they're called, a debit card. I still use something most people forget about. I think it's called cash. But I try to use that. That way I know it's in my pocket. I know I have to depend. How many times I've been to Aldi's and there's 5 shopping carts that you can't push because their debit card went down or their terminal went down and nobody could buy their groceries. They didn't know what they were going to do. The most important part, and if the class is serious, as we start to promote these webinars, they probably want to be part of this, because it's better to be prepared and never need to use what you've learned than to need the knowledge and not be able to get it later. And most of the panic that's been running amongst us working on this webinar is, as long as we have power, as long as we have internet, we can still share these ideas. And it's really difficult to try to live, have a life, do what everybody else does day after day after day, and then devote the hundreds of hours putting towards creating and talking about what we feel is important, and then looking and researching and finding people, and then talking to people to find out if what they're telling us makes sense or it's not hype, and then try to promote that. So, if everybody starts to, I don't care what you do, pick up one kernel of corn. But if you pick up one every day, at the end of the month, you got a few kernels of corn. It's better than having no kernels of corn. Everything starts with the first step. And if you're not going to lead by example, don't be mad. Don't be mad if nobody wants U.S. dollar in the rest of the world. And when your, what do you want to call them, supermarket, jobbers, whoever they are, your auto parts store, every part you buy today is coming out of China. And when China chooses not to take a dollar, I don't think anybody realizes what kind of travesty, because your income, I can guarantee you, is not going to go up. Everything you buy is going to double, triple, and go into the stratosphere. Not to mention even what does come from China today. Think about the quality. I just had to replace components on my brakes on my vehicle. The part's a year old. It failed. At least I got the free part. But I still had to pay all the labor and then change a bunch of other parts out for the damage. So even when you think you're planning, you're preparing, you're keeping your vehicle up in shape, or your house, or whatever it is, always going to be the special little bonuses that come along that you hadn't even considered, because that's life.
Joey,
how do you feel?
Well, let me address that. Toyota shut down its factories. That was announced on the 15th of this month. Why? Because, they had some problems with their suppliers. They have people who work in small companies that make the parts for the Toyota vehicles, and those companies couldn't make their parts, so Toyota couldn't get those parts and install them in their new vehicles. So Toyota shut down. So who's thinking about getting parts for their Toyota? Well, there's a problem, because the factories, Toyota shut down all its Japan factories. You mentioned parts for your vehicle. Well, we have replaced here at the farm 5, 6, or 7 front hubs that come from China on our Dodge Ram 2500 turbo diesel pickup truck. We have replaced the same part 5, 6, or 7 times. Why? They come from China and they're cheap. They don't last worth a darn. And now the auto parts store, which offered us a lifetime warranty on them originally, now it's 1 year. So what is the warranty? And I said to them, okay, so when we bought the first one from you guys, it was lifetime, and it was a pain putting it in, and it's a pain putting the second and the third one in, the fourth one in, and now you're telling us, well, no, it's not guaranteed anymore for more than a year. So now you guys realize that these are crappy parts, right? Is that why you're doing it? Because we wouldn't be here having this discussion if the first one lasted or the second one lasted. So you're absolutely right, Joey. We are, if this isn't a crisis, I don't know what it is. Because what happens to the guy who puts that part in? Let's say we paid a guy the $100 an hour. Instead of doing it ourselves, we paid him $100 an hour. It's $200 for the labor, $100 for the part. If we get away with $300, we're doing great. Okay, so what about part number 2 when it fails? Is that another set of labor for that? And 3 and 4 and 5? Are we going to spend over $1,000 in labor because the parts are crappy? It's really getting bad. And it's not just that. It's every kind of part. Even the headlight lenses don't last anymore. Are you on your second or third set of headlight lenses for your car? Well, you probably are, because you can't see going down the road because they fog up. The plastic is lousy. They used to be made out of glass. They used to cost $1. Now they're $100.
And they're disposable.
That's what I mean. Joey, is this what it's like when you and I are on the phone, or you and I and Miles and Ed, and we're isn't this it? Isn't this what we... Jeez.
The whole point. Miles waiting 8 weeks to get parts for a Mercedes in Germany. How's that work?
Class, all what this is leading up to is we are working feverishly on a lot of really cool technologies that we'd like to offer to you. I think you'll be impressed. I'll tell you a little bit more about it when we come back. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Bad news, Americans. You're probably stockpiling for a disaster all wrong. When the big one comes, you'll need more than that poisonous, oversalted survival food you now see everywhere. There are 3 vital things that your survival food is missing, and it's the first thing to disappear from grocery stores. Go to superfoodradio.com now to see my story of how I nearly died when I was forced to live on a popular survival food. That's superfoodradio.com, and I'll show you how everything you've been told about survival food is dead wrong. Go to superfoodradio.com now.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Mother's Day is next week, and Pro Flowers is offering an amazing special. 100 stunning blooms for mom, plus a free glass vase for $19.99. Go to proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 3434. But hurry, this incredible deal expires this Friday. With fresh flowers, guaranteed delivery, and add-ons to complete your gift, Pro Flowers has everything you need to be a gifting expert on Mother's Day. Order now from Pro Flowers to get huge savings. You pick the delivery date, and it's guaranteed. 100 colorful blooms sent fresh from the fields and guaranteed to stay fresh and beautiful for at least 7 days for $19.99, and will include a free glass vase. Hurry! Mother's Day is next week, and this incredible special expires this Friday. The only way to get this amazing deal is to go to proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 3434. That's proflowers.com. Secret code 3434.
Shipping charges not included. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to gcnteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Class, I was on the phone with John Statmiller last night, and he invited me to be on his broadcast this afternoon at 4 o'clock. So if you'd like to tune into that broadcast, I'll be there. And that's republicbroadcasting.org, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Central Time. I'll be live. So I just wanted to make that announcement. So, Joey, here's some of the things that we're working on. And we've got a web page designed, Ed user site built this, and it's a fabulous job, and it's got lots of areas for forum discussions where if you build something, you can help others. We're looking for some forum moderators. If you'd like to be a forum moderator, let us know. If you got a specific area of expertise, like let's say you're a great welder and you want to help people with welding. If you are a mechanic, or if you are an expert in, or even an amateur in radio communications, and you'd like to help us build we'll call it a ham radio network, if you'd like. And I'm not talking about competing with Genesis or Republic Broadcasting. I'm just talking about having communications that are at the ready should you need them and know how to use them. Some of the designs that we're working on right now are designed for a simple battery that you can build from a kit. We want to build the kit and offer that to you at a very low price. This would be a rechargeable battery that would be for your lifeboat. Okay, we want, and we have a chemist. We have a chemist who is working on that right now. We have a radiation detector kit that we're working on with a voltometer. We want to make that available to you at very, very low prices. I can send some of them out for free without the voltometer, but if you want it with the voltometer, we'll have to charge a little bit for it. Then a battery charger kit. Let's say you want to charge that battery and the power grid is up. We're working on that. You're going to need to learn how to solder, and you're going to need to have a small soldering iron. So we're going to try to make those kinds of things available. The lessons on soldering. How about building a shortwave antenna? Well, different lengths are for different purposes. So we want to have instruction for that. And seeds. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of what we're trying to make available to our class, our students, and our instructors. So we're expanding the instruction, webinars, and kits for you to learn how to build and build your lifeboat and maybe save your life. Joey?
Well, think about this. Something everybody assumes that a promise is as good as gold. And the government has made a lot of promises. They give a lot of people checks every month that are second, third, and fourth generation recipients. There's a lot of people that worked really hard their whole life, and they were promised if they put their money in these accounts, they would be able to take it out, and they would be able to live off of that because they were frugal and they learned how to save their money. Or there were other people that didn't make that kind of investment, but they had something called savings. When the dollar collapses, it doesn't matter which part of this food chain you're on, that all vanishes, and if you're not prepared, or at least think about a repercussion of a problem like this, you know, some people that never worked for money, that's an entitlement that they're going to be really devastated for not having. The other people that worked really hard for that money, and they invested it, or they thought they invested it, and they thought these promises that were made by the government that would safeguard that for them, they're going to find out that's not been safeguarded. And then, of course, whatever money you were fortunate to have in a savings account, it may be there, assuming they don't have a bank in here, a bank in bailout like they're having in Germany right now. 3 weeks ago, the Deutsche Bank was coming in the savings account and cleaning them out to keep their people working on the savings accounts. So think about where we're heading. And it's okay. Keep waving. The boat's leaving. Bye-bye. Arrivederci. That'll be okay. That's all wonderful. Keep waving, but don't forget what's about to happen. Finish up, Vic.
Hey, Joey, thanks so much for being with us today in class, sharing your passion. What you're hearing, class, is concern about the crises that we're facing. There's so many of them. We're surrounded on 360 degrees. And these politicians, how well is that working? Have they lived up to their promises? They keep telling you need more. They need more. More what? More money. They want more money from us. Don't give it to them. Don't give it to them. Joey, thanks again so much for being with us, class. Above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Mother's Day is next week, and Pro Flowers is offering an amazing special. 100 stunning blooms for mom, plus a free glass vase for $19.99. Go to proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 3434. But hurry, this incredible deal expires this Friday. With fresh flowers, guaranteed delivery, and add-ons to complete your gift, Pro Flowers has everything you need to be a gifting expert on Mother's Day. Order now from Pro Flowers to get huge savings. You pick the delivery date and it's guaranteed. 100 colorful blooms sent fresh from the fields and guaranteed to stay fresh and beautiful for at least 7 days for $19.99 and will include a free glass vase. Hurry, Mother's Day is next week and this incredible special expires this Friday. The only way to get this amazing deal is to go to proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the upper right corner and enter the secret code 3434. That's proflowers.com, secret code 3434.
Shipping charges not included. Satisfaction guarantee to your...